the Union Jackasses. And who will be the ultimate Union Jackass for 2021? Well, at number 10, bad news, it's the Deputy Prime Minister, Dominic Raab. Calvin, he's done some good things this year, but I think this was because of the Afghanistan situation when he stayed on holiday, right?
I think it's because of, he's similar to Dan Wootton and Julie Hartley-Brewer, that he likes to take a lot of holidays. I think that's what it was.
And there's nothing wrong with that, right? Nothing wrong with that.
But he did own Claudia Webb, which was fantastic. In fact, he owned her twice. It's really good to see.
At number 9, it is London's failed Mayor Sadiq Khan. Esther, he has had an absolutely appalling year.
Has he ever had a good one?
Probably
I mean,
not,
where do we begin? With all the unaccounted figures for his housing policy, which I'm still waiting to hear, he has just made London unlivable. The TfL doesn't work. I mean, it's broke, right? All these congestion charge measures, it's just horrible. He's just made London unlivable. It's horrible. I can't even believe he's still mayor. There should be some way to, like, just retire him early. I'd actually pay him to stop.
Yes, please quit.
Yeah, exactly.
Please quit, Sadiq. Get out. This is a confusing one, Dawn Neeson, because at number 8, it is the Health Secretary, Sajid Javid, who, of course, also featured on the list of Greatest Britain. So what happened there?
Well, and I get them both times, so thanks for this one. I mean, Sajid Javid, it was easy. I mean, yeah. Right, OK, so basically, he has gone back on being a freedom fighter and saying we need to live with COVID, who suddenly wanted to lock us all down. He is one of the cabinet members who are going, no, we need tougher restrictions, we need them now, and taking away our Christmas.
Oh, indeed. I think it was that change that has found
it has to be, doesn't it? I mean, it was like...
Now it's only him and Michael Gove, really, within the cabinet who are campaigning for more restrictions. It's a real shame, actually, because I had high hopes for Sajid Javid. At number 7, the Education Secretary, Nadhim Zahawi. Now, again, Calvin, this will surprise a lot of people because I actually think Zahawi did a really good job rolling out the vaccine as vaccine minister. But I think the reason he has found his way onto this list was because he promised a whole load of people, including me, on the record, that vaccine passports would never come into law in the UK. And Calvin, by the end of 2021, what do we have? Vaccine passports.
Absolutely. He promised everyone there would be no such thing as vaccine passports. He stood up in the Houses of Parliament and said the very same thing. He spoke to a lot of professional journalists like yourself, said the same thing, and now he's promoting them as a necessity. It's one of the biggest hypocrites in our government. The founder of YouGov as well, let's not forget.
At number 6, I'm disappointed he's not higher, if I'm totally honest.
I know.
It's
I
the
don't know how
leader of no opposition, Keir Starmer. Esther Kraku.
To be fair, he does have
done
tough competition.
Bugger all this year, right?
He does have tough competition. Does he know his job?
No.
Does he know what the leader of the opposition means?
No.
Does he know what the opposition is?
No.
That's all I'm going to say. He doesn't know what his job is. He doesn't know what he stands for. I don't think he knows what country he's...
He knows what offence is. He likes sitting on them.
I mean, yeah, exactly. I'm surprised he hasn't found his way.
We're into the top 5 now. These are our top 5 Union Jackasses of 2021. And my favourite First Minister of Scotland, Scheming Sturgeon, comes in at number 5, Dawn.
And well-deserved as well. I mean, power-crazed, poisoned dwarf from north of the border, isn't she? Looks like a cranky by nature, and is determined to go down as the person that single-handedly saved Scotland from... That was terrible, wasn't it? From COVID. Meanwhile, ignoring all the problems that she has. The country's bankrupt, worst drugs problem in Europe. But basically, she's in competition with Boris Johnson. Build the wall.
She has the convenience of not having to pay for any of it.
Well, quite. Build the wall, but just make sure it's built round her.
At number 4, it is the Duke of Woke, Prince Harry. And Calvin Robinson, I think 2021 will go down as the most shameful year in this young man's life because he decided to trash his family as his grandfather lay dying in hospital. Even now, Calvin, it makes me viscerally angry.
Well, it's the opposite of a glow-up because he was the nation's lad. Everyone loved him.
Glow-up.
And he got with this woman. And what's the polite word of saying cuckolded? I don't know how to describe what he is right now, but it's not nice
voluntary
to see.
castration? I don't know. I really, there's no other word for it. I mean...
There's a couple of things I can think of that are not polite to say on television. But Dawn Neeson, it was just...
I was going to say them, actually, but I said... No, sorry.
Dawn, we were mentioning the word on the break. Let's not go there. But Dawn Neeson, it was such an appalling dereliction of respect for Her Majesty the Queen.
Oh, it's just the ultimate insult. You know, in the year she lost her husband...
Who's she worrying about? This bloke?
Yeah, she has to deal with... I mean, obviously she's got the whole Andrew issue going on as well. But Harry was her favourite. And he's just treated her so appallingly. And, all right, she's the Queen, OK. But she's also a grandmother and a mother. And she was a wife who'd lost a husband. She needed so much more, not just respect, Dan, but love.
Well, shame on him, because, of course, it's not going to get any better in 2022, given he is penning an autobiography where he's expected to trash his family even more. I've never seen, actually, such a fall from grace. One man going from being so universally popular to so widely loathed.
That's what marrying the wrong woman can do to you. I'm just going to
My-
put it there.
You know what?
I'm gonna say that.
My husband says exactly the same
seriously.
thing.
Absolutely.
I'm adamant. If my brother brings home Meghan Markle or someone, I'm just like, that is the door.
Let's head to the top 3 of our ultimate Union Jackass for 2021. And at number 3, it is those eco-terrorists of Insulate Britain. And Esther Krakow, you know how angry I got about this mob throughout the year.
The most confused lot Britain has ever seen. Can I just give a shout out to that lady that pushed her Range Rover?
Oh, Sherilyn, who's now been charged.
Charged? What?
No way.
With what?
Assault. Which is just outrageous, but we can't talk about it because it's currently...
It's a live court
It's a
case,
live
but
court
I
case.
mean...
I know. It does give me some hope, though, that some of these Insulate Britain eco-terrorists will be spending Christmas behind bars because, all year I was campaigning for all of them to be locked up. Not because you can't peacefully protest, but because they were putting our lives in danger.
They were risking lives, and they don't even know what they're campaigning for. They don't know. They don't know the first thing about insulating a house. It's like tens of thousands of pounds. No, it's like 600 quid at B&Q, mate. And just glue them in their cells. Don't ever let them out.
I know,
and if you saw interviews with them, they all sounded like they had mental health issues. I was so convinced that every single one of them should have been in a psychiatric.
We had that bloke on the show, Liam Norton.
My God.
And he couldn't understand why I was so shocked that he hadn't bothered to insulate his own home.
I know.
He didn't get it. It was just very bizarre.
He walked out on me twice. I'm starting to feel it's a bit personal.
The biggest fan.
At number 2 in our list of the ultimate Union Jackass
What? He's not
2021, it is the Prime Minister, Boris Johnson. Well, Esther, you say he should be number 1. He did good things, he did bad things this year, right?
What are the good things? Could you remind me?
Yeah, what's the good things?
Well, look,
He had some cheese and wine.
I don't know.
It was a business meeting. Come on, we're having one here.
Calvin,
It's work.
look, Boris could and maybe still should be a great Prime Minister. He's the bloke who delivered
No, it's too late.
Brexit.
Are we thinking
It's
of the
time for him
same
to go.
person?
I've never felt more betrayed in my life. I fought hard for this guy to get into power. This is a guy who said he stands for civil liberties. This is a guy who said he stands for low taxation, the free market. This is a guy who said he was a libertarian, a conservative. He's gone back on every single thing that he supposedly stood for, except for himself. And people told me all along, this guy doesn't stand for anything. He's a charlatan. He stands for himself. I said, no, he's not. He's one of us. And he wasn't. And I feel so let down.
Yeah,
I'm having chicken for Christmas dinner and it's called Boris.
It's betrayal, isn't it? It is a betrayal, Dawn, for a lot of people who did back Boris. I will always give him a hell of a lot of credit for delivering Brexit.
But you know what? He didn't even do that because David Frost did that. He did all the hard work, all the negotiating.
And Farage and Steve Baker.
Well, yeah, but I mean, David Frost officially did it because he was in the government. But he's actually resigned now because he's fed up with, how did he phrase it, the direction of travel that Boris is driving.
Yeah.
I mean, people who voted blue ended up getting green with a bit of red, which makes brown. And we all know what brown is.
What's wrong with brown, Dawn?
Nothing wrong with brown.
I'm just saying.
But,
That's not what we voted for.
Careful, you're outnumbered tonight.
There's an emoji for what I'm trying to say. I
I'm sure
I know the point that you were making. But it is now time to reveal the ultimate Union Jackass of 2021. Emily, cover your Union Jackass.
Simply Matt Hancock.
Matt Hancock.
We have all plumped for Matt Hancock.
No shocks here. It's Matt Hancock.
Matt Hancock. Matt Hancock.
Matt Hancock.
Matthew Hancock.
Matt Hancock.
Matt Hancock.
Well, it's just, it's been such a tough year for so many people.
He's the most deluded, cringiest man in politics.
Just for being so arrogant. He broke the rules, but then he's
flouting around on TV, going to Jingle Bell
Bell
balls
Ball.
like he's some kind of celebrity.
It's based on the outfit that he wore to Capital's Jingle Bell Ball, because that is an unforgivable Steve Jobs cosplay. Why was he at the Jingle Bell Ball? He is not a member of Little Mix.
I know. Hancock rebrand, isn't it? Look,
There it is.
Oh.
Look at that. The best thing they could possibly do is just stay out of the limelight.
The only man to turn a resignation video into a pathetic blowing of his own trumpet.
I'm very proud of what we've done to protect the NHS.
But I guess it's better than who was previously blowing his trumpet, if you get...
Oh, Dawn! The way that he has treated his wife, and we'll come back to it later in the week, utterly appalling. Who's your greatest Brit?
Mrs. Hancock, for showing remarkable restraint, togetherness, and not wearing her husband's testicles as earrings, as I would be.
It was such a throwback to the scenes that I remember from school discos as an adolescent.
He's won! You don't need to say any more. Honestly, that's it.
The jackass of the year.
I think he's actually the Union Jackass of the year.
Hancock.
Esther Kraku, we called it. We called it all those weeks ago. I mean, there was only one bloke who could take the title, Calvin Roberts.
the biggest hypocrite of them all, the one who told us not to do everything and then went and did it himself. Outrageous. Get rid of him.
Dawn, any more fruity contributions?
It's just a shut
I know.
I've got watch it, Dawn.
Where are your earrings from, Dawn?
He did like a victory lap, didn't he? He went around the country filming little videos of himself being popular with the people.
My favourite, apart from the video with his mistress, was the dodgy contract he gave his mate, you know, who ran the local pub. And the local pub was called the Cock Inn. And I'm sorry, I'm not going
He
there.
denies, obviously.
Don't worry.
He denies, obviously, Dawn, that there was anything
there was
dodgy.
nothing untoward about that in any way, shape or form, obviously.
Yeah. Let's have a look at the full top 10. What a year it's been. There's been lots of jackasses in 2021, but I think it was just so clear right from the very moment that I saw that iconic, for all the wrong reasons, some front page, that it was going to be Matt Hancock. And that's because, Esther, he, out of everyone in government, was the person who was almost sort of maniacal in terms of asking us to follow the rules.
He was the architect of our misery.
Yeah.
He was so, like, he just took such a joy in effectively destroying our lives.
Yes.
Well, you know what gets me? He's putting his name in the mix as a potential future.
Oh, yeah, but that's
even go
never going to
there.
happen.
Could you
that
imagine
shows how delusional he
representing
is.
Great Britain?
Well, Matt Hancock, let me just tell you, you are the Union Jackass of 2021.